You know, I definitely thought it was, you know, your career's over, you know, you got those thoughts, but I said to myself, you know what, I'll still give it a shot and see what happens. And, you know, you get a lot of people telling you you're finished and it's over. And, you know, I couldn't let myself go out like that, you know, so I just tried my best and see what happened. And, you know, I just got back on stage. You know, but I didn't care what anybody thought about it. It just, it was for me, right?
So that was Tampa in 2009. All right, so that Tampa in 2009 came in 7th place? 9th place. We'll say 7th place. And, you know, we're back on track to a large degree. Things were going well. The big off season got up to like 275. Big 275. Yeah, thanks to me. Got up to a big 275 and, you know, was really poised to, you know, do big things, to take the momentum he had from Tampa, having a big off season, and turn that into, you know, something bigger. A couple, you know, higher placings, gets momentum going, and do better and better and better. And then, unfortunately, what happened?
You know what? After the tricep, everything was going pretty well. You know, I definitely thought I had my shot back to get back on stage and, like I said, move forward, just keep placing better and stuff like that, you know. Then, you know, just one day, just coming home from the gym, and just boom, someone just come out of the blue and hit me. You know, just last thing they expect, another thing you don't expect. You know, definitely some of my darkest days, laying in the hospital bed, you know, wondering what are you gonna do? Looking up at the ceiling. You know, a year and a half ago, looking at the ceiling going, okay, now what? You know, doctors telling you that, you know, you could be dead right now. So the last thing in your mind is bodybuilding, but, you know, you still think, like, when I get out of here, what am I going to do? You go one day feeling like you're Superman in the gym, and the next day you can't even get out of bed. You know, it's definitely a humble feeling, you know, and just I don't know, it's just really hard to explain. I guess you have to go through it to understand, but I can tell you, but definitely some of my darkest days, and you know, definitely thought it was over, and doctors telling you know, you'll never be able to bodybuild again. And, you know, obviously a lot of people talk shit, and they're just, oh, he's finished now, he's this and that. But slowly but surely, I just every day got a little better. Went back to the gym, curling my 20-pound dumbbells, no joke, and they were hard. You know, winded, had to do instead of curls, but a year and a half later, we're right here, right now, so it was definitely worth it.
All right, so people realize how bad the accident was. You lost your spleen, had a collapsed lung, terrible arm injury also, right? Anything else beyond that? And a broken clavicle. So, lost a huge amount of blood, and very lucky to be alive in general, let alone ever working out or competing as a bodybuilder again. So from that point forward, you got back up, and you competed the first time in Toronto, a hometown show. And that's how many months after the accident? 13 months after the accident. It's amazing because the accident happened in what, late February? The accident happened in late February? Is that what it was? Late February. We were actually training together in the UK in May. The end of May. Like 3 months later. Yeah. So 3 months later, he was back on his feet, you know, back looking like a bodybuilder after, you know, for a lot of people what would have been, you know, sure death. So you decided to compete again in Toronto. That was a hometown show. Talk about how that went, and then how you transitioned from that show to the next show, which was Tampa, where you qualified for the Olympia.
Yeah, well, after I started training again, things started, you know, getting back to kind of normal, but I still wasn't up to the same training I was in previous years, and you know, my weight was pretty low and stuff like that, and I knew the whole time I kind of planned to do a show. I just could not live to just see. Well, I want to know what I could do. You know, I do want to be to go out like that. And I want to go out and finish the sport when I'm done, when I feel like I'm done. Not for like a stupid reason to, you know, like a car accident. But I said, you know, I'll just give it a shot. I gotta know. I don't want to be like 40, 50 years old going, what if I had tried, just so I know the answer, if you could have done it or you couldn't. And I could definitely tell you when I got back on, I was back, you know, getting ready for the show. I had my doubts and you know, even backstage pumping up and all this kind of stuff. I was just like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was scared. I was like, what people are gonna think, what people are gonna say, you know, because do you still look the same way you looked before? Do you look better? Do you look worse? And you know, I know everybody who's ever competed, you're your own worst enemy, and you look in the mirror and you don't see what everybody else sees. You're like, you know, you just want to be better every time, right? But I can honestly say, you know, I remember getting that first call out and I was like kind of in shock, but it was like the best feeling in the world. I mean, I got 4th in Toronto, and I honestly feel like I might as well have won the show. It was, you know, I was almost in tears, so happy. And but then, you know, me, honestly, I'm a kind of guy that does the one show a year kind of guy. The rest is cookies and cake all year long. But then I had a show a week later. I said I pulled it together. I think I ate a little too much the day after the show, and I had a show a week later. But I think I looked a little better the week later, and the competition was a little stiffer, but I think I looked maybe a little better. And I remember I was in the top 5, and we're just standing there. They called out 5th, they called out 4th, and I remember just looking around going, wait a minute. That means I'm at least number 3, because there's one guy on this side of me, there's one guy on this side of me, so it's got to be me. I got to be one of them. No, they called out my name. Honestly, I was on stage, and I had to fight back the tears. I was so happy, and I never thought this day would come. I mean, I thought about it, but it was just, you know, you have your doubts sometimes. And definitely one of the happiest times of my life. And I don't know, that's it.
Which leads us to right now, where you qualified for the Mr. Olympia for the first time by placing 3rd in Tampa. Was going to prejudging yesterday and preparing for that, was that the hardest you've ever trained, preparing for the Olympia, the strictest you ever died? Because I know personally, I know you. And I know that to a certain extent, and this isn't a criticism, it's the truth, you're a gifted bodybuilder, and to a certain extent you took some of the blessings that you've had for granted, right? Where you wouldn't maybe diet as strict or do as much cardio and you can still look great when the time comes. But I also know in talking to you that leading up to Toronto and Tampa and now the Olympia, it seems like you're not taking things for granted anymore. Things that, you know, once came so easily and seemed like a foregone conclusion and no big deal, now you realize, you know, could have all been taken away from you. So did that change your approach now that you had this big opportunity, you know, compete on the biggest stage in the world?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I gotta say one thing. From when I lost a lot of stuff, you know, an accident, the tricep thing, it made me realize that maybe I gotta work harder than somebody else who's not injured, and I gotta bring something different than they got, because, like, you know, it's hard to train for a competition anyway. It's stressful, it's hard, you know, I mean, dieting and, you know, all this kind of stuff. But then being injured on top of it, and probably not, your physique, you might feel like it's not as good as it used to be. So it's like, you gotta go in the gym every day, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I had those days, those competitions where I was like, I cheat like crazy. Like, I don't need to, I could have a little of this, a little of that, it's no big deal. But getting ready for this show, I must say, it's tough to do shows back to back. Anybody's ever does shows, but like, I mean, I just finished 2 shows, and I can honestly say I was mentally and physically exhausted just from those. And to go and get ready for the biggest show of your life was like, okay, I gotta pull this out of my ass or something. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And I think I've probably been the strictest I've ever done in my life, because I feel like I gotta bring everything I can to this show, because I mean, this is the best guys in the world, you know. And then again, I had my doubts and I had my days where I'm going, oh shit. And then, you know, I get called out. I'm in the lineup with Kai Green. That didn't feel very good. Actually, no, it felt great. It felt great. But first when I thought about it, I was like, oh shit. But no, it was a great feeling, and I can definitely tell you it was probably like the best feeling of my life was last night, just going up on that stage. And definitely, I don't know if anybody was there, but I heard people cheering for me, and it was, there we go. Honestly, like, it was the best feeling in the world. Just up there and hearing people cheering, it made me work even harder. You know, I mean, it was all worth it, for sure.
So really, like, I'm sure the various lessons that you've learned over the past couple of years are things that, you know, moving forward, you're going to apply to your life in general, you know, about not taking things for granted and, you know, working hard and overcoming obstacles and not quitting when nobody would have blamed you had you quit. I always say that, you know, the people who really make it and really get somewhere are the people who don't give up when no one would have blamed them otherwise. No one would have blamed you if after those accidents you were like, you know what, I think I'm done with bodybuilding. Who could have blamed you, you know? You almost died. Who could have blamed you if you don't want to bodybuild anymore? But instead you came back from that and look where you are now, you know? Is there anything that you took away from that that you think serves as a lesson for other people who are facing obstacles, whatever they are, you know, facing challenges in their everyday life, reaching their goals?
Well, I can honestly say, you know, it was definitely one of the hardest things. When things get hard for me now, I think I'm a lot mentally stronger, for sure. But I find when I feel like I'm suffering or I feel like things are hard, then I'm like, I must be doing something right, because if this was easy, you know, everybody would be doing it, or it wouldn't really be worth it, because it's just easy. So, you know, every time that I was, you know, didn't want to go to the gym, didn't want to do cardio, you know, and I went and did it anyway, I left feeling good about myself, you know what I mean, that I could still get up and go do that. But even in my life, everything, I feel now too, is that it changed everything. It changed my mental lookout on everything, you know what I mean? Definitely in a positive way, for sure. But I know a few people who've gone through same, you know, similar kind of things, and they kind of gave up. And I've talked to them, and they say that they don't know how I did it. I was like, there wasn't anything special to it. It's just I just got up and just pushed through it every day. And also I've had some friends of mine who had some kind of similar things, and now they're trying to do the same thing as I did. Like, not the same things I did, but they're going back, you know, not giving up. And I feel like maybe I contributed a little bit to some people who've probably gone through something similar. And honestly, that gives me strength to keep moving forward. It gave me strength even just to get to here where I am today. So, you know, things are always going to be hard. Life is hard. It's never going to be easy, because if it was easy, I don't think it'd be worth it. You know, definitely some big life lessons for me. And but at the end of the day, it's all worth it for me. The hard work, you know, the pain, the suffering, the tears, you know, you name it. It's all worth it.
I think the one thing you mentioned before, as far as like your perspective changing based on everything that you went through, was the idea that, you know, when you were a kid, a part of you thought, oh man, you know, other than being like a poster boy for Animal or whatever, you thought, shit man, maybe I'll be Mr. Olympia one day, right? I guess every high level bodybuilder at least flirts with that idea at one point or another. But then you said to me one time that maybe that's not what your role is in bodybuilding, maybe it's something else. You know what I'm talking about? Share that, because I thought there was a lot of truth to it, and there's something profound about it. There's something poetic about kind of the cycle of life and how you realize what you've gotten out of the sport so far and maybe what your role might be.
Yeah, like Greg said, like, I mean, I'm sure everybody who bodybuilds, everyone's ever did a show, everybody wants to be the best. I don't care what you say. Everyone says, I'm just going to do the show. But there's a part of you to go, I want to win. Listen, I was up on stage. I don't want to win. I want to win. I feel like that. But no, what Greg was saying, I know definitely was talking about, is that I've had so many people come up to me or write me or talk to me, whatever, send me letters or send, you know, emails, whatever, just saying the same thing I just said. Like, you know, they want to thank me for inspiring them for what I've been through and just getting through what I've through, to inspire them to get through whatever they're going through in life, no matter what it is, you know, family stuff or, you know, health issues or injuries or money, or, you know, because everyone thinks you're going to do a show and they're waiting to do a show for everything to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be a problem. There's going to be money. There's going to be girlfriend, there's going to be boyfriend, you know, whatever. It's going to be everything, you know what I mean? Nothing's ever going to be perfect. And I've even had a few friends lately do a couple local shows, and I talk to them, you know, just about what I'm doing. I just talk like I'm talking to you guys, and then they go, that's it, I'm going to do a show. I'm going to go back, I don't care. But no, I think being Mr. Olympia or winning shows that's great. That's what I want. But like I said, Greg said, and now I feel like it's bigger than me right now. It's like my role pretty much in bodybuilding and in the fitness industry is, I think, inspiring other people. You know, what if there's some guy there right now just looked at my pictures or heard my story or something, you know, some young kid, and 10 years from now he's Mr. Olympia, and he could say, oh, you know, I saw a picture of Frank Mcgrath when I started working out, and I really believe that, because I think, I got pictures on my parents' wall still of Jay Cutler still on my wall, and now I'm standing on stage next to him. So, you know, people like that inspired me. You know what I mean? Like, so I think now I feel like I'm that same person. It's hard to believe that of yourself. You know, I've heard it for years, but it's hard to actually believe it. And now I feel like I'm that guy that, you know, younger kids, or even older people come to me and say, you know, you inspired me to get back in the gym and training just for their own personal goals, not just for a bodybuilding show, but for whatever, to get healthier, obtain their own goals. And it's a pretty special feeling to know that you inspire someone to overcome, or just get back in the gym, or like I said, who knows, man? It could be some guy here right now is gonna be Mr. Olympia in 10 years. He could be walking here right now. You know what I mean?
All right, so I know you got a big night tonight, and I'm sure there's gonna be people who want to get their pictures taken with you and probably have a poster signed. But I want to see if any of you guys have any questions. Anybody have anything you want to ask them? Anything about your contest prep, or what it's like to be on the Olympia stage, or anything like that? We have anything online? Easy? Okay. How do you feel right now?
I've been asked that question about 100 times last couple of days. I feel like shit. No, I feel great. I'm just tired, but it's the best experience of my life for sure last night. And like I said, when I feel like I'm suffering, I'm tired, and I don't want to go on, I think that I'm on the right path. But I gotta say, I feel great, and just my excitement just keeps me awake and keeps me going. So it's awesome. That's how I feel.
So I just wanted to thank Frank for coming out today, and thank him for being an inspiration for us all. And thank you guys for hanging out and listening to us bullshit, like always.